what tips do you have in just communicating with creatives to get them on the same track in the way that you want to go?
Yeah, so I see this so much with clients, and this is something that I really, really struggled with early in my career. And like managing creatives when you have no experience managing creatives can feel impossible because it's like they speak a different language.
Yep.
Like words are coming out of my mouth. I can tell they're the wrong words. You're nodding, and then you're coming back with something that I hate, and I can't tell you why I don't like it. Right? I always call it rock fetching, where it's like you get in that cycle of, I can't really tell you what I want, but I want a rock. Can you go get me a rock? And they're like, they come back and they're like, well, what about this rock? And you're like, no, that's not the right rock. Go get me a different rock. And then you get in the cycle, and that's where like everybody's losing money. So what I always tell people is start out as much as possible with giving them an idea of who your customer is, right? And what other types of brands they buy, right? Is this person a Whole Foods shopper? Are they a Target shopper? Are they, if it's a woman, does she wear Glossier makeup, or does she wear, this? Like, give them some reference points so they can kind of understand like the visual language that you're going after. And then when it comes to giving feedback, as much as possible, like I always take screenshots and just like draw a line of like, I don't like this because of this reason. I like this because of this reason. I need this to look more like this, another reference image or whatever. Like take as much of the guesswork as possible out. And if you don't have the ability to communicate that in words, then you need to communicate it in pictures, because that's the only way they're going to get it.
I love that. That's a great tip for those of you listening. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a client who will just respond back saying, this is not good. This is not what I want. And the freelancers there, like, I want to make sure you're happy. I want to get what you want, but I don't have any information. I have nothing to go by. And that screenshot, like you said, really takes the guessing out of the equation.
Yeah, actually, I want to go back real quick though to something you just said. Writing, this needs to pop more, is not constructive feedback. Right? That's one of my biggest pet peeves with clients is when they're like, oh, I just want this to pop more. I just want this to stand out more or whatever. You need to be very, very specific with what you mean when you say, like, does pop mean it needs to be louder? It needs to stand out more? Does pop mean that, you need to be very clear about what that means and what your expectations are. And again, probably link it back to some images, or you're just going to get back more of the same.
Yeah. And you got to remember that the freelancers work with different clients. Pop could mean different things for 5 different clients.
Exactly. It's like quality, right? Quality means different things to different people depending on what you're talking about, what category you are. So it's the same kind of thing with design. Different words usually mean different things, and you need to be very clear about what you mean by them. But when I talk about brand, I'm really talking about the relationship that you have with your customer. And so that is everything, anything that they might come into contact with. That is how you deliver customer service. That is what your website looks like. That is the products that you sell and the quality and the packaging and the way that experience is delivered. That is any ads that you might run into. All of that kind of wrapped up together